I don't know. Is that a thing? Because, am I going to have to record this again? This is so stupid. And now it's gone into a second little video snippet, hasn't it? Dang. Can't remember. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what's right and how to get involved. I think people, you go for it. Just dang go for it, you know. Power to you, right? Trouble is, you know, power to you, but then other people... yeah, what am I going to say? Other people aren't allowed to be as vehemently supportive of the Morphew family, for example. I don't know. I don't think it's right, if it's true, it's only allegedly because I'm not sure if it's true, but I don't think it's right that the Attorney General has listed Suzanne Morphew as a murdered person and a victim of domestic violence at this stage. It's not to say that it's not true. It's possibly true. But to do so now, I think that is a gross lack of personal intellectual judgment. Who is advising the Attorney General? Where do they get their news? Why do they think this is a good idea? Who suggested it? Or do they know what's going on and they thought it was a good idea? How is it even legal while there is an open case, while this is going on, while Barry Morphew is up on charges awaiting trial? How is it even fucking possible that that could happen? Even if it's true, you should not want that to be done. Okay? You can't have it both ways. When you whinge and moan about this and that and the other, but you don't want it fair for other people, just overly fair for you or her or him, but then bias completely in the opposite direction is fucking a-okay. That shouldn't wash with you. That shouldn't wash with you. You should, no matter what is the truth and no matter what you believe, you should know inherently it is wrong. If that is the case, you know, so this is why, you know, the Attorney General is clearly going to be an excellent person, he or she, excellent person to write to with regards to what's going to be allowed in court in the trial against Barry Morphew. Because look at what they've done. Look at the message they're sending to the whole of the USA, to the state of Colorado. Any prospective jury member can see that. Sure, 1% of the population, 5% of the population might only be interested in that. You know, how many of the population might see it out of the people that are eligible for jury duty? 1%, 10%, 50%. It's 1% too many. It's tainted. So what if this is true? What has the Attorney General essentially done? Have they given the defense grounds for dismissal because he'll never have a fair trial? I don't know what will happen with the other charges, but he wouldn't be up on murder charges anymore, right? He might, yeah, which would mean no charge for gross handling of her body, disposal of Suzanne's remains, body. It's another charge. I don't know how they quite say that. But, you know, there's the fact that he did send in her vote to vote for Trump. Yep, he did it. He did that. I mean, does that show a controlling man? Does that just show a stupid man? I don't know. And, you know, all the connections that people have, you've got to expect this. These are small towns, you know, with a few thousand people around. People are going to know each other. You're never going to have a clear slate. It's impossible. It's impossible. And you've got, you know, you've got the Kevin Bacon factor going on in just a little ecosystem, right? So it's going to happen. Things are going to happen. Judge Morphew wasn't good enough. Before actual truth was found out about him, all the imagination about who he was and his connections to Morphew and why he was going so easy, wasn't it that he was a good judge and following the law of the land because he has to, you know, and then, you know, I don't know much about Ramsey Lama, but yeah, if he's a domestic abusing dirtbag who is biased against that sort of thing, or if it's just because he wants to slight his wife because she was involved in advocating for Suzanne Morphew and other people that are missing in Colorado. The thing is, his ex-wife was connecting Suzanne Morphew to domestic violence. Okay, and none of this is legally founded. You have to be very careful with what you say about people, surely, right? So do you think, okay, the Attorney General, just say this is fact, non-fact, it could very well be, but I'm just saying it's alleged at the moment. Do you think it's just and correct for someone who is on a missing persons list, who has not been found and whose husband is up on charges of her murder, do you think it's right, ethically, legally, anything, that the Attorney General puts against her name that she is a murder victim and that it was domestic violence? What if he got, because the, you know, the message is, well, her husband's up on her murder charge, so he's the murderer committing the domestic violence. That's the insinuation. What if he did not do it? And then, what, you just get that scrapped and it's just forgotten? People will forever, he could be found not guilty, and then Suzanne found, and it's found that she was killed by some serial killer, known or otherwise, right, or whatever, and he's completely exonerated. Imagine, it'll be just like Madeleine McCann case, where people all around the world would come and tell you Christian Bruckner killed Maddie McCann. They think he's been tried and put in prison for it. He's in prison on other dirtbag charges. That guy is a child pornographer, child abuser, right? He's a dirtbag. But it's not truth. It's not fact. People assume it. They might assume it. And this is now, okay, forever. And even if Suzanne is found, just say she's found, and there is overwhelming evidence that a particular person, not Barry Morphew, murdered her, forever now, with everything that's gone on, forever Morphew will have been having multiple affairs, like forever, maybe with Morgan Gentile. That is forever going to be a belief of people. Forever that he murdered Suzanne. This is, you know, remember, this is in the scenario that she is found. May she be found, you know. This is what needs to happen. Let's face it, I feel like she may never, ever, ever be found, no matter what happened. I just have a terrible feeling. But people are found all the time. People are discovered all the time. So it could happen. But he'd never not be the murderer of Suzanne Morphew, right? And when you have state officials at the level of the Attorney General taking part in that, how do you feel about that? This should bug you as much as you expect things to be just for you and you're not hassled about WebEx, you know, oh, you're so hassled, right? Okay, sorry, this sounds so, I'm trying to get a point across here. You can hassle other people all you like with allegations. Now, you've had an allegation. Just this could be in any scenario, any case. You can't spread rumors, pick on every little thing, really get in there. And if it turns out it's completely fucking false, you've moved on and you just, another day, another allegation, another way of operating, another thing to do, another idea. And then it happens to you. You don't fucking like it, do you? Right? You don't like it. Do you not see? It's like a little karma. I'm not saying this. I don't want that to be directly that AK Rocks is getting some kind of karma around this WebEx thing because he's been part of, you know, his beliefs so strong out there. It just make this a general hypothetical situation, right? I hope you see what I mean. Go for it with your letters. You write to the 104 whatever in Salida and write to the Attorney General. But, you know, some of those letters that have already been written about other aspects of this case and things like that, it's yeah. So what do you think? Do you think that, okay, so Suzanne would be too ashamed to try and find something to document her own abuse, whether it is financial, emotional, even spiritual, you know, or you know, the control, just even, you know, being controlled through fear or through this manipulation of, you're my wife, you're staying, you took a vow, you know, all the bullshit that Barry would throw at Suzanne about her based on his Bible knowledge, so to speak, you know, all that nasty shit. She would talk about that, you see. She wasn't ashamed to bring up that sort of, the fact that she was under that type of control and manipulation about where they stood in the eyes of God, or, you know, as Christians, as a Christian couple and that sort of thing. And she was very open that Barry would throw that shit at her, right? But is there, so, you know, she's got, okay, so she's comfortable at this level. But was there another level that she wasn't comfortable with? And that's why she wasn't trying to get that recorded on the spy pen. But she would be comfortable insofar as being betrayed by Barry, with him having sexual contact with other women, emotional experiences with other women perhaps, and that was less shameful and something she felt that she could still use. She wasn't getting the info. We don't know what was deleted, but why? Why? What do you think? Why was she not trying to catch that Barry in those times that he would that he would pontificate at her, that he would sermonize, that he would fuck with her head. Why? I mean, I have no doubt that he was a nightmare communicatively, and I have no doubt that he would, sermonize, but I've spoken again. I've spoken before, about the Jason Morphew thing, right? That he wrote, and that it's memoir, and he didn't write it in a journalistic manner. Oh, I've got 5% battery. He didn't write it in a journalistic manner. He wrote it in a way that showed his hand, really, because of some of the things that he mentioned. But I do believe that about Suzanne being called by Barry to testify in front of Jason and his wife and that sort of thing. It's just the kind of uncomfortable shit that I feel like Barry Morphew did. But I'd say he's been doing that his whole life. So where are the testimonies of the family that, coming a bit more forward about that controlling manner, and that they sensed that, I don't know. Why wasn't Suzanne trying to capture abuse on the pen? Why was she obsessed with catching Barry doing what she was doing, which was having an affair? Okay, so anyway, sorry about this. I don't want to upset people. Really good cases. This is what's so, you could go into the debating chamber, and if you've got the intelligence and the ability to be engaging, performative, but to put forward very good arguments, you could argue every single side of this case. This is what is doing a lot of people's head in. But I can see now with Ramsey and what's coming to the fore now, I feel like there's been a big shift today in people that have been reasonably saying, oh, but this because of the law, and we need to, due process and burden of proof. And now I think, for some reason they've just gone, fuck it, because they're not happy to not have this domestic violence allegation, abuse allegation part of the equation. They're not happy to have that removed. Maybe there are things that the prosecution could do better, the motive, etc., that you wouldn't need that. Maybe that is just going to fuck up the jury's minds, because they're going, oh God, and now I need to try and put a weight on this. I can't measure this. Seems unquantifiable in terms of the law, because you're asking me to decide something where it's not quite evidentiary. Why are we looking at this? And the days might be spent on it, and then it's just going to be decided that it's not of value, and then they'll have to move on. And if, as I've said over and over again, sorry, if there was the calls to the lifeline, the GP visits, the marks, Suzanne, if she was frightened physically when he's put, what, has she not photographed this? Jeff let her go over and over again, back 7 times. She is an abused woman, and okay, yes, emotionally, mentally, financially, etc. Financially, no man is letting the woman go on these holidays on her own over and over again. Fuck no. She's too frightened to be talking to her lover in front of him right there. Okay, and she's not risking a spy pen. Okay, so I don't know. I can't reconcile it. I have gabbed on, I've repeated myself, I've talked in circles. I meant this to be a lot better, as I always do. Thank you for listening. Thank you so much. I don't want to offend people, and people that I care about and respect and have a lot of regard for, their passions, their intellect, their commitment. You know, we need to be able to talk these through and talk about it openly from every angle. And that's okay, because I want someone to come back to me and go, oh, Humanimal, okay, could think about this, and make the argument that stops me from being this fucking devil's advocate. I don't like it. I like to be more sure. It's not pleasant being here. Even if I thought he fucking done it, and I felt that at my core, I would have to intellectually feel the same way. Now that might mean that I'm a fucking dunce. I don't know, but I would still have to. I feel like I would still have to reason it out the same way and go, okay, we need more to happen. We need this, this, and this, so that this conviction can happen. I would not feel confident of a conviction. I mean, I don't know that it is going to get dismissed in full, but I think if the Attorney General's done something stupid, it just might be. And I don't know what the prosecution's game are, because are they really that stupid? I don't know. They can't be, right? But if maybe they've decided they need to really throw in this towel. Maybe they don't want to go ahead with this trial because there's something that can happen federally that circumvents double jeopardy. I'd love to know more about that. Let's get on to Scott Reich. Who knows him? People live in Colorado. Jules, another day in the car. Jules Wolf, the cool blue wolf, I know he can be a little bit iffy because he has to support people in his community, right? He has to be seen to be making a good measured argument supporting the motions of the defense team, okay? But I wonder, could you interview him? And not that you'll be listening, I think I'm probably 3 little videos in by now, but you know, could he be asked, just ask the questions about this? What's the story with double jeopardy? Would it be better that if this case doesn't go ahead how it is, and is there some way that it can be tried again later? You know, do people not want to do that because they were fearful that Barry Morphew might actually now run? Guess what? Bowl you over with a feather. I don't believe Morphew was actually getting ready to run. I don't know why. I don't think he was. And I think if they were acting on that intel, Spezzy I'm talking about, I don't know what made him think that, because the months and months of selling up and this and that and the other, but really, where was he going to go? Was he maybe just going to Arizona? Was he going to go back to Indiana? I mean, I don't know. Who knows what goes on in the mind of a Morphew, right? I mean, what a strange person. Is he nearly as strange as Watts? I mean, because people won't get off Watts Island, right? And are things less or more complicated than they really seem? Are people like Morphew more or less complicated than they really seem? You know, what are his secrets? What did he mean when he said, can I have immunity if I tell you what happened? What does that mean? I don't know what that means. And they're allowed to lie, right? Wouldn't they say, sure, mate, you can have immunity, and we'll just tell us what you know. You'll be right. So this never go any further? What was he talking about? Anything? Was he going to come clean that he had found out Suzanne was having an affair? I don't know. Fuck. Anyway, I've really overstayed my welcome. I'll speak to you later.